What's up, y'all? It's GT,
And I'm Jordan.
and we are the Black Book Keepers BBK podcast. We are here today, y'all, with one of my favorite books of all time. This is in my top 10 of books. This has helped me realize so much about myself, so much about life, so much about, just wisdom in itself. We are here with Outwitting the Devil. This one is by Napoleon Hill. You know me, Jay. I love this book. Overall, what you say?
I like the book. I liked it.
Okay, all right. Well, let's get into it. First and foremost, I say this: like, once reading a book, once you in totality, what are some of the main themes? I want to start with you because I've read this a couple of times. What stood out to you? Like, what was very like shocking, or what would you say? What themes resonated with you?
Um, Things that stood out to me. I think that he was saying a lot of things that some of the people already know, some of our people already know, but a lot of people are unaware of. So just going about, he talked about school and we talked about that a little bit, how the education system is not what it seems. I think the biggest takeaway from this book, if you're open-minded, is to realize like what you're being fed right now is not what it seems. But only certain people are gonna hear that. So
Yeah, yeah. I love the fact that it's like a fear versus faith sort of concept. And, when we talk about the devil, one of his biggest mechanisms of control is fear. People have fear of old age, people have fear of poverty. It's just different fears. And in order to counteract that is faith. And that's something that's big, right? Because even with just a positive mindset, it's hard to come across now. I feel people always talking about the problems that life present them, and we forget that there's the other side of life where we are blessed and fortunate to have a roof over our heads, a car that we drive, even if it's not your dream car, your dream house, your dream job, you still have a way to make. You still have finances that you still have bills that you're paying for, you still have a car that you're driving, you still have a house that you live in, you're not homeless. So that was the biggest takeaway for me. It's just that there's this consistent battle of fear versus faith. And in totality, we gonna win if we have faith mindset over fear mindset.
do you remember what his definition of faith was? Because in the book, The Devil, his definition of faith would be, I think, different than most people would think it is, or maybe what like our Webster dictionary is. Do you remember what it was?
I have faith and I just have it as another sixth sense. I don't remember the exact definition he had.
I
Critical
can't remember
thinking,
the.
independent thinking. What was it?
I can't. Oh, I remember. I remember. So his definition of faith. Okay, so he had it like a, because the devil in this book talks his vocab is very vast. So he uses a lot of big words. And then the narrator, he kind of summed it up and said faith. So what you're saying, devil, is that faith is basically eliminating all negative thoughts in your mind. So yeah, I feel like a lot of people wouldn't actually tie that with faith. I feel like our definition of faith that we use is kind of like relying on, a higher power, just trusting a higher power to, take it.
Yeah, hope.
Take the wheel.
Now that you say that, I do believe like, okay, so in the book, faith is, and like Napoleon Hill described it, faith in his view is a sixth sense, right? It's another superpower. And you're right. We look at it as hope, and we don't even think of it as in we don't even think of it as what he proclaims it to be, eliminating all negative thoughts, because we don't understand how that's defeating. No, I've been in situations where I've had nothing but a negative outlook on life, nothing but a negative mindset on life. And it was like kind of entrapping me into more negative thoughts, more negative thoughts, more negative thoughts. And it's just a recipe for a bad life, or, how you look at life. I look at it bad. Like everything sucks. Everything, nothing is going my way. Nothing is fun. Nothing is helpful. But like he said, that's the works of the devil. And one thing that I love, right, what he talk about in this book is that the devil will enter your thoughts and enter your mind and have you believe it's your own thoughts. He said that's one of his greatest tricks. He have us thinking that the thoughts that he implant in our head is thoughts of our own creating. So to me, that's powerful because I've been there. And sometimes, it feels like it's two voices. It feels like you have one voice. It feels like the literal angel and the devil on the shoulders that we always see in the movies. Like it feels like it's a battle within yourself. But anytime I've let the red, or anytime I've let the devil overtake my thoughts and thought they were my own, is the times where my life wasn't working in my favor.
Yeah. It's a big thing that thoughts that people should realize that our thoughts aren't ours, because they definitely can trick you. I think and negative thoughts will pop in your head and you're just like, where did that come from? But you really do have to remember that those thoughts are not yours. And not only that, them being, I guess, of negativity or of evil, just we live in a world where the thoughts are like a consciousness of everybody. So you're like taking thoughts of other people too. So,
and that's funny because why you said like it's groupthink, right? It's a collective consciousness,
yeah.
and there is fear that restricts the group. Like we're in a pandemic right now, and a lot of what I personally see is fear promoting. Fear, fear, fear. Don't go spend time with your family. Don't engage. Don't do this. Don't do that. It is nothing of faith based. It's nothing to where it's positive. Like, okay, well, let's take care of our immune system. Okay, let's go exercise. Let's eat better. I haven't seen that on one thing. It's just, hey, take this and you'll be fine. But then a couple months to switch. Okay, well, okay, you'll be fine, but you still may experience some stuff. Okay, well, you can still get this. And it's just the message is changing, but the fear is the only thing that stays dominant. And like he said, accurate thought is the depth of me. That's what Devil said, because when you think independently, when you think critically, when you think outside the norm and say, you know what, hey, this isn't making sense, that's when the devil loses. When you have your own mind, when it's not from your parents, from your teachers, from this person, from that person, it's when you think for yourself, is that when you beat the devil.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, his main point in the book is just explaining how to overcome and how to overpower him. And I think another interesting thing, actually, this is a couple things that really stood out to me. The narrator asked the devil, because the devil's explaining how he has all this power. He controls 90% of the world. This is what he says in the book. And so the narrator says, so why don't you just take over everybody? Why don't you just take over the Most High, or what we call God, or people call the universe, whatever name that you have for the higher power? He says, why don't you just take over if you have all this power? And the devil says, because then everything would be destroyed. It's needed and it's a balance. And he explains it like an atom. You need a positive and a negative. And him explaining it as an atom really made sense to me. And it kind of just shows you that everything does need a positive and a negative. We need that positive and negative just to balance out what we have here on Earth. So I thought that was super interesting as well. And it also kind of shows why the Most High can't just take over everything and be like, okay, I want everyone to be positive and loving and this and that. Somehow it wouldn't work. There has to be a balance. Unfortunately, there has to be a balance of both negative and positive.
Yeah, and I agree with that point, right? Because if you don't go through bad days, how do you really appreciate good things? But I see the problem with society and with people, and even sometimes myself, is that we let one bad day or one bad time or one bad person change our outlook forever. We all have to face obstacles. I just was telling my friend this today. We all have bills. everybody have problems, everybody have obstacles. It's not just life is going to pick on you. Life is just picking on you, or this bad scenario and everything. Oh, life isn't fair. No, you need that. You need obstacles to see what you're really made of internally. If we don't have those battles, if we don't have those hard times, if we don't have that, how do we even know to appreciate the good? It can't just all be one way. In my belief, some of the toughest times, some of the toughest things I've been through showed me my strength, showed me I can think. It showed me, okay, who around me that really care about me, who really love me, who really's here for me, who can I really call on? If you don't have those bad times, how are you supposed to answer those questions? So I love that aspect, and I do believe that it's a balance. And you know, I don't dread obstacles. I look forward to them, because now it's okay. I get to display my intelligence. I get to display my strength. I get to display my I get my solitude, how solid I am. I get to display that. You don't display that with a good time. I feel like you display that in a bad time.
Yeah, that's definitely a good way to look at it. I don't look at it necessarily like that, but I look at my downs as in, okay, now I can only go up from here.
Yeah.
And I think that's how everyone should look at it, because no matter what stage you are in life, you're gonna hit downs. But I'm telling you, when you hit that rock bottom, literally there's nowhere to go but up. And I feel like that's when you have your best come ups, honestly. When you hit your rock bottom, and you're down there for a little bit, because it does hit you hard. I'm not gonna say, oh, it's just right up, I'm getting right back up, but I'm gonna get up and it's gonna be stronger than I was last time.
Yeah, and he talks about that too. One of the things he talk about is that when we hit rock bottom, when we hit, you know, the lows, there's always a seed, just a seed. It may not be a fruitful flower, but there's a seed of which something can germinate and grow. A seed of positive thoughts, a seed of the solution. It's always a solution. It's always a solution in there. And like you said, it may be something you work, even if it's just a seed. If you flower it, it will grow. So we need to stop we look at our failures as, oh, you know, and oh, we'd be 3 feet away from goal. We almost be there, and we just give up. And again, another one of the devil tricks, because if we just persevered, if we kept, or if we analyze the failure, okay, what did I do wrong? What can I change? What can I do better? If we did that more often, we'll have a lot more successful outcomes. So I love that. It's always a seed of positivity, a seed of growth, a solution to when you feel like you hit rock bottom.
Do you have an example of times that you failed and you still persevered?
I say times I failed and I still persevered. Okay. Okay, so one of my businesses, right? I had a business with a friend, and we were into real estate, and we were trying to wholesale. It was a wholesaling business. I mean, we damn near, was cold calling people. We were driving for dollars. We were looking for houses. And due to us being at different points in our life, and we both were at different mental states, it just didn't work. It didn't work. We both were at different mental states at that point in time, and it didn't work. And I'm sorry, because it's kind of glitching. Okay. So, you know, I still had dreams of being an entrepreneur. You know, I still had dreams of having something successful, because I realized, you know, if you're not into a certain degree, if your degree isn't yielding you a lot of money, it's only another way to go, which entrepreneurship, being in control. And just because I've seen so many different examples of it failing, and even myself, my very first business, you know, I was proud, I invested into it. I was proud. We had logos, we had everything. We just didn't get to the point of being successful in terms of that wholesaling business. I wanted to be out. I was, you know, I was disappointed. You know, I was just like, oh, you know, am I a dreamer? You know, am I really, do I really have what it takes? You know, do I need to be better? Is it something that I didn't give to the team? Is it something that my partner didn't give to the team? Do I need a better partner? Do I need a better self? You get all these discouraging thoughts, all these thoughts that want to keep you down. But I just like, I let it go. I let it die out. And I thought about, like, well, what is it something that I love to do? And who can I partner with that to where we're going to be able to push each other and not let each other fall? You know, we're going to be able to take it to another level, because that's what I want, right? And even if, I see people making a lot of money and a lot of degrees and they're not happy. And at the end of the day, if you're not happy with what you're doing it for, like I said the other day, even rich people kill themselves. So, it's not really about the money, but at the end of the day, it's really about happiness. We want families, we want the cars we want the houses we want. So what do? I started thinking about, okay, I'm not a failure. This just failed. What is my next goal? Now turn two, I ended up working with my partner now, and we decided to open an auto shop, right? And it's times and it trickled down, and it's things that happen with that. But I know that, okay, I'm not a failure. Things fail, and that's okay. That's a part of my learning process. Now I'm a little bit more responsible. I'm a little bit more head on, and I'm not dividing myself into so many different things. I'm staying true to one or two things and pouring my energy, pouring my time into that. And I'm finally starting to see the rewards after being down for so long. I'm finally getting up out of there to where, I've seen myself prevail. So
Okay.
that's just one thing. What about you? Do you have any times where you felt like, hey, this is the end, I'm a failure, or you was just at that rock bottom and you've seen some type of seed of positivity or seed of positive thought?
Oh yeah, I've been at rock bottom many times in my life, but I love every time I get there because I know I'm gonna come out stronger. But the main thing that comes to me right now is just my stock trading journey. Like literally since I was 21, I wanted to somehow do stock trading, and the odds are against you. I think only 2% of traders make money. So people try and they quit. So I started when I was 21 and I quit. Then I did it 22, quit. And every single year I did it for a couple months and I kept quitting. And I'm just like, I feel like I'm never gonna get this. I kept trying. And then this year is I think my fourth time trying, and I'm finally making money. And I literally just had my first positive profit month. So I'm literally so excited. And I feel like this relates perfectly to the book because I think the devil said around like 3 tries, like 90% of people just stop completely. And it's ironic that my fourth try, I finally hit my profitable month in options. So I'm glad I tried again. And just for people who are listening and anything that you're doing, it might take 4 or 5 or 6 tries to finally get there, but you got to like push through that hump of 3 fails. I mean, some people, get lucky on the first try, but most people don't.
Yeah, it's definitely a journey, and it's definitely a process to get to where you want to get to. Like I said, and that's counting. Some people have support, some people don't. Some people have it easier, some people don't. So even regardless of whatever, I would say, tools that you have around you, it still takes you doing things that you don't want to do, getting up when you don't want to get up, the working jobs that you may feel like, oh, it's measly, or people may make fun of you, oh, you work here, you work there. So what? I'm paying my bills. I'm getting myself to the point where I need to get myself, and I got to do whatever I got to do. And no, that's what I think. So I think that's just incredible. I think that we both just basically said the importance of still persevering and pushing through the pain. So another element they talk about in the book, which is heavy, is drifting and non-drifting, drifters and non-drifters. And one of the things it hit about, so drifters, just to sum it up really quickly, is people who really are working around here aimlessly, right? You don't have no real goals, no real intentions. You just take everybody's word, no critical thought. It's just a summary of being procrastinating, not having no goals, not getting things done. And one of the things he talked about with non-drifters is their importance of servitude, right? You have to give before you get, right? And a lot of us, we just want to get. We want to be receivers. We don't really want to give. So that stands out to me. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I was that type of person to where I just felt like things is supposed to come. It's supposed to come. Oh, I'm reading all these books, I'm investing in my knowledge. No, it takes work too, right? It takes getting off your butt, being disciplined, thinking for yourself, making a plan, executing a plan, and getting what you want out of life. So There's times where I drifted. I say in my younger days, maybe in my teenage days, but I knew what I wanted. I knew what I wanted. I knew the type of lifestyle I wanted. I knew what I wanted for myself. So I would say I've been a non-drifter that had drifting times, but I was always able to reset, refocus, rebalance, reset, refocus, rebalance. So for you, how important it is to give and to give to the world and to help people and to not drift. How important is that for you?
How is it important for me to give? What am I giving? Knowledge?
That's giving something, right? Anything. But he just talking about in order non-drifters, they are of servitude. That's one of the ways that we stay happy. That's one of the ways that we just, invest in our community, invest in, how we give back. So how important is that for you, giving?
So if I want to get deep, I think my sole purpose of being on this earth is to give. And I actually do everything that I do in my life is to give. So I have an engineering degree. The only reason I finished is to be a role model for Black women. For stock trading, the only reason I'm doing it is so I eventually can give money to anybody I want, anytime, pay for my friends for just anything I want to do with them. I want to do this podcast because I love giving knowledge. I tried doing talks before. Any way to spread knowledge, I just lights up my heart, honestly. And then also I just put giving before myself. I have a budget. I have like luxury and I have giving, and I always give way more than I spend on myself. I probably give like $1,000 more like a year to others than I do on myself. So I feel like giving is just what I'm here for.
Yeah, I can attest to that too. I mean, for so long, I've been the type of person who didn't understand that. See, when I think of selfishness, it's not the fact that I didn't want to do. It's just always was a problem, and now I think of like, okay, I think in terms of teamwork. Like, okay, how can I not help you? How can I not do this for you? And you're around me and you're doing all this for me. You're willing to sacrifice and give for me. So how is it that I can say, oh no, I can't do that for you? That's how I learned initially. I realized I was around people that really wanted to see me grow, really wanted to push me and was willing to be a great teammate. And how am I a leader? How am I a good teammate? And I'm not doing the same for them. So it's like, even if I can't give you what you give me, I have to give in something. I have to be there for you some way, shape, or form. And like you said, the different podcasts, with all of my businesses, I am by trade a herbalist. So my thing is natural health, naturopathic help, helping people heal different elements with herbs, with plants. It's an alternative because the norm is going to see a doctor. And for so many people, we only know one way of doing things. Okay, let's just go take an Advil. We don't know about wintergreen. Okay, well, let's go get this arthritis cream, but we don't know about arnica. And of course, it takes good sources from these things, because I know people have had, oh, I tried this, I tried that, it didn't work. Well, the source counts too. I mean, you put Aquafina tap water in Fiji, and if you compare them 3 different types of waters, you're not gonna get the same thing for those 3 type of waters, and it matters that well. So, like you said, though, I think that it's a true joy in life and more blessings when you just naturally give, when you're naturally available to people, and people can use you, and not for themselves or for personal reasons, but use to help themselves. That's what I like about non-drifting.
Okay, yeah. I was just gonna say that it's a big possibility and probability that people who truly and naturally and genuinely enjoy giving won't receive that from other people. And usually their gifts or their gifts that they'll give back will come from like natural things, like other ways and other aspects. So it's just kind of big to remember that just because you're not receiving it from another person doesn't mean you shouldn't give it. So there's like a lot of people I've seen so many times, more than I can count, on social media, people say, I'm giving you the same energy you give me, or keep that same energy. And I don't think it should be that. I think it should be I think it should be you give love no matter what you get in return from a person. And you should keep your same energy. If you have the energy of love, you keep that same energy. Don't stoop to anybody else's level. And I feel like that can go in drifting too, honestly.
Mm-hmm. I wholeheartedly agree with that. It's so funny you said that, because every time somebody say that, I'm gonna give you the same energy you give me, I'm gonna do people dirty, it's just like, I can't. People want to talk about their character. I'm a nice, loving, genuine, kind person, but you stoop to the lows of people who do you dirty. So are you really that character that you proclaim to be? Like, for me, I'm not trying to. Karma is a fully employed 24 hours, 7 day a week entity. It's something already, you already got to pay for the wrongs you do. I don't necessarily have to take it in my hands to do you wrong, because I truly feel like when you sit up there, if somebody do wrong to you and you do wrong back, now that's something that you got to do karma with, because we know right from wrong. You don't like treated like that. You don't want to be treated like that. You don't want that to come to you. So why are you giving it out? Hurt people. So since I'm not hurt, you can do me dirty, I'm gonna cut you off. There is no other way, shape, or form I truly believe I can get back at you than cutting you off. Because now you're not in my life no more. You don't have the privilege to do anything you ever did to me anymore. You don't have that privilege. I'm taking that privilege away from you. It's a privilege to be here in my life. And if you hurt me, okay, that's fine. My thing is, what are your intentions? Were you purposely trying to hurt me, or did you just hurt me? And I don't, like I said before, I don't like what you did, so I'm just hurt. What type of hurt is it? Oh, you tried to intentionally hurt me? I don't need you in my life, because I have so many people who love me and who's in my life that naturally care for me that not going to do that. I just cut you off. Now you got to go hurt somebody else, and you still have to worry about karma. So I agree with you. I am not the type of get even. My character stays the same, even though I'm not perfect. I have my moments. I try my best to just let you be who you be. I always keep in mind, hurt people. I'm not hurt, so I don't need to hurt.
Yeah, that's facts. That's just trauma, though.
Yeah,
that's trauma.
Major trauma, and I'm not trying to be.
There's one more thing. There's one more thing I want to talk about before we get off.
Okay.
All right. So this kind of drifts away from the book, but I'm gonna use a quote from the book. So in the book, the devil says, he says, creating a habit from useless activity will make you keep doing useless things. It's something like that. It was something like that.
Hypnotic.
And I want to talk about this because people want to. I'm so big on people want to preach. What's it called when you could do a little here and there, like when you're on a diet and you could have like a little bite. Oh, moderation. Yes. Dude, people want to preach moderation, and it literally drives me insane, because not only is it an excuse, in my opinion, and it's kind of like you're just cheating a little bit. So not only are you cheating, but also, if we want to talk scientific neurology, every time you do something, it creates a pathway in your brain. So if you're having a little bite of cake, every time you eat a carrot, your brain is going to get used to that. There's no such thing as moderation. You're cheating and you're straying away. And I feel like he talked about that when he said doing something useless is going to create a habit loop of other useless things. And this is true, because you're getting used to doing something that has no type of benefit.
Oh, man. I'm right with you there. And I just want to say, we people, this is not something we behind the scenes we agree on. This is just all natural. I hate when people, I used to hate that, I've been in moderation, because one of the people who used to tell me everything is moderation was big. He was big. And
I don't know. Listen, I don't know nobody who's at the top talking about moderation is key.
No, I think that when you talk about moderation, it's just an excuse for not being disciplined. At the end of the day, if you want a different way, you have to do different things. If you've been eating cake and you see what cake done to you, It's not, you're not gonna receive your results that way. You're just not. You're not gonna receive your results that way. And that's breaking the dedication and the discipline behind it. Like you said, the devil, he entraps us in more different ways. Savings. He entraps you in savings. He messes with people's marriages. He have people bicker and do things that for no reason. But it's just keep them in useless activity, taking them away from what they really need to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never liked that either. Naturally, I was just like, you keep talking about in moderation, but you big. Like, what are you talking about? No, moderation not working for you. That's not moderate. It's not moderate.
Yo, there's this one dude I follow. He's a fitness guy and a YouTuber. He does all this stuff. He has a lot of money. He has businesses, all this stuff. And he does like the question polls on Instagram every day. And some guy was like, how can I have a six pack like you, but only work out a couple days a week and only eat healthy blank? And he was like, you're a weak and you're a baby. You sound like a little beep. He was like, you need to be disciplined. Like, you sound like a little punk. And that's true. Like, straight up, like, why are you trying to find the easiest? Y'all want to find the easiest way to do something instead of just doing what you got to do. And since eating is the easiest way to relate, because everyone can relate. When people like post like they lose like 20, 30 pounds and everyone's in the comments like, how'd you do it? Let's be real, you know how to do it, you just don't want to do it. You eat rice, broccoli, chicken. That's it, and you work out.
Yeah, I feel like it's very simple. Man, I feel like that's what it all boils down to, and that's what everything. Like, we want this complicated formula: consistency, hard work, dedication. What can't you accomplish by those three, using those three? You have to be consistent. And I'll be looking at people like, okay, if I want a body like that, or that person took years to get that body, you're not gonna get that in no 30 days. That's what irritates me. I'm gonna cut this out.
30-day plans.
Oh my God. This dude on Instagram I follow, he posts 30-day results. And I swear to God, I never know which one is the before and after. Change in the 30 days. Why is you going to these people?
We clowning right now. We clowning.
I know. It's one thing I want to talk about before we get off, but that irritates me. Like, dude, what did you lose? What did you lose? Your shirt? What did you lose?
Yo, I want a disclaimer. I 100% stand by everything I just said. But I do also want to say I'm not perfect. So I'm not saying I follow that to a T, but I am saying you know what to do. You just don't want to do it. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Before we get off, I just want to ask you this one question, right? So this is a very controversial. I can see why, it was a part of the book where they said, his wife wanted to wait for so long, and everybody told him, like, well, if you drop this book, you're going to be a target. This you saying some real controversial stuff in there.
I'm already knowing what's coming.
The devil said he got workers in politics, he got workers in church, he got workers in the school, and maybe it's not conscious, right? But they're following the plan, and maybe they don't even know. For you and your experience in life, and after reading this book, how true is that for you?
I'm not gonna go super deep because this is too controversial. We just started this channel, but I'm gonna say that those things that you just mentioned, so the news, schools, a lot of churches, they don't allow you to think. They tell you what to think, and that's what he's saying. And he's saying he says he controls 98% of people because they do not think for themselves. And we can use examples from every single one. The news is basically giving you these factual things because they go and take a camera into the scene and they interview people saying this is what it is. It's probably not what it is. Going to the church, they don't ask you questions. They tell you, they read something and they tell you what it means. They don't say, hey, what do you guys think this means? They tell you what the scripture means. And then for school, we already know what that is. The same thing. You read a book and you take a quiz on what you just learned, basically saying everything you just read is fact, and that's what we go by. So But if you want to get controversial with it, go ahead, spit your thoughts.
No, I just have to say I agree with everything you say, but I still think this is important because, I read a quote and it says we take authority as truth and not truth as authority. Meaning, some of the people we look to that we have confidence in, we take whatever they say as truth. Same thing with our parents. Like, only reason why we believe Santa Claus is real because they told us it was real. Like, that's not the truth. But our authority, the people who raised us, the people we believed in, told us that. So I don't see it no different than the news, and especially like politicians. Politicians base, their winnings off of what the other man are doing. Oh, this person, if you elect him, he's going to do this, and he's going to do that. He's not for the people. Then the other ones say, oh, if you elect him, then you're not going to do this. You're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. They promise things and they'll never come true. And they have certain groups of people vote in certain different ways. And then you look in the history like, okay, well, what did this group do for me? And it'd be very little, but we still, because our authority said this is truth, we still hold on close to those beliefs. Like, oh no, well, let me just not think, critically think. Let me not examine the facts. Let me not have my own opinion about this. The narrative is that this makes sense. This works. So it must be true. Again, another way to not use your mind. So I just wanted to touch on that, people. It's very important to just think, observe your own facts, do your own research. Don't listen to us. Go out there, read, see different, view multiple sources. Don't just watch one channel and take every single bit of truth from there. Don't just read one book and take every bit of truth from there. Read all different things. Read all different things. Read all different topics. Research differently, and you will get to different things. So
yeah, I agree. For the people in school, though, there's not really much you can do about it, but I think that you should learn your own stuff when you get home.
Yeah.
Take on other challenges and learn other perspectives when you get home.
Do more. At the end of the day, the devil only wins when you let him. Be a proponent of your success. Do things that you know works, and that's all you got to do.
All right. I'm Jordan.
I'm on GT.
Peace.
Thank y'all for another good episode.